Hello, everybody. I'm here again. Today, I want to talk a little bit about, of course, coronavirus. Everybody is wondering what is happening. Yeah, but today I will focus on also the economic development of China. Yeah, coronavirus. The situation is not improved. It's not getting better. Actually, it's worse. I just learned it from a very authoritative, respected Professor Longini. He's a kind of senior advisor for WHO, World Health Organization. And he said, if there is no vaccine and no medicine to fight against this coronavirus, he is afraid that the spreading of infected people will grow and grow and grow and end at about 4 billion people infected. 4 billion people infected. Now, how many lives we will lose? It depends on which figure we follow. The Chinese official figure say about, I think, 5% deaths of all the infected. But experts in UK, in US, in Hong Kong, they estimate between 10 to 18. Let's be moderate and say 10. If 10% will die. So imagine 4 billion people infected and 10% of them may die. And that's a hell of a lot. That is something like 400 million. But of course, Professor Longini say, if we don't find anything to stop it, and it go on and go on like this, as I understand, when summer comes, when the temperature become high enough, probably this virus will not survive. Now, this will have a tremendous impact on the Chinese economy. And this is why CCP try their best to cover up all this real figure. The official figure today is still something around 60,000 infected. I always claim it is at least 10 times that much. So actually 600,000 infected. Yeah? And official number of deaths is around, I think, something like 5,000. So probably the true figure is 50,000 deaths. And it's not only that number of infected people or number of deaths that will have impact on economy. Of course, the lockdown of all the cities and provinces and so on will directly have impact on the economy. And I know that Xi Jinping, the Chinese party boss, has ordered all the region to start working again after Chinese New Year's holidays. But I understand also many regions dare not to start working because, if you don't start working, economy will be terribly hit. Yeah? But if you start working, the spreading of infected people will also explosively grow. So this is a dilemma. I'm coming back to it. But look at Chinese economy. Actually, it is not the coronavirus that really have a negative impact on China's economy only. Before coronavirus came, Chinese economy was already declining. Actually, since year 2015, according to my memory, the Chinese GDP has been declining. Even if we follow the official statistic of the Chinese Communist Party, 2015, it was 6.9%, say almost 7%, yeah? Which is already low because before it was even higher. And since then, every year it gone down 0.2, 0.1% units, yeah? So last year, it went all the way down to 6.3%. So actually, without coronavirus, it went down. Without the trade war with America, Chinese economy went down already. Now why? Well, I think one of the reasons is you cannot build things on lies forever, build things on deception forever. For example, a lot of credit in China, or bank loan, a so-called bad loan that people will never be able to pay back. Now why they have so many bad loans? Well, because it's very common in China, in mainland China, that you cheat others. So for those people who go to the bank, they will cheat the bank by telling all the fantastic story. If I get the loan and invest in this and that project, soon I will make that and that much profit, and you make money, I pay back for you, and so on and so on. And combined with corruption. Maybe he make the bank man to understand that if he approve a credit for him for $200 million US, I'm talking about, if he get 1% kickback, 1%, in his pocket, it's a hell of a lot of money. I can imagine in a time when many Chinese people do not pay attention to moral and ethic, many people will dream about, wow, if I give him that credit, I will have a good life. So this kind of things has been going on in China. It looks good, It looks good for a while, but you cannot continue this kind of thing forever. Another thing is, I know that the Chinese Communist Party has already, in the beginning of, say, around year 2000, they have a strategic decision called 保八, which means keep 8. What does keep 8 mean? That means we have to do our best to keep minimum 8% growth in GDP, because they claim if it is less than 8%, we will have problem in stability, problem in social unrest, and so on. So, and the local officials, how they do it? Well, if you cannot force people to buy, to make economy to grow. People have to buy, people have to invest, people have to sell, This is economy. But you can never force people to buy things. So another way a government official can contribute to a growth of economy is to invest in infrastructure. I build a new motorway, I build a new high-speed train, I build a new airport and all this, because GDP doesn't reflect only how much you produce. GDP reflects how much you invest also. So the government invests a lot of money in infrastructure. Now, because of this kind of, you can say, a kind of command economy, so why you have to keep 8% growth? It's nonsense. In the year of economies, this is nonsense. You should let economy growth in a natural way. Depends on market demands and market supply, and not someone make a decision it must grow at least 8%. And also in China, because of the hierarchical system, the local official know, if I can show off my economic success, I can promote it. So if I build a new airport, I report a higher GDP growth, and I show on the TV, fantastic, another new airport, and so I start to glance, everybody will say, wow, fantastic, and I get promoted. I don't care what happened after I promoted to another position. So all this together means sooner or later you will have big trouble with your economy. It's like a private person who live a luxurious life on loan. Yeah, you can do it for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. When you cannot pay the first loan, you manage to cheat someone else and take a second loan and to pay off the first loan. And when the second loan become problem, you get a third loan and so on. But I remember 2015, I was giving a speech to the business leaders and also politics leader in Sweden. And people ask me, what do you forecast China economy? I say, 30 years ago, Chinese economy started to grow very fast. And you know why? One of the main reasons is many foreign direct investment come to China. But you should understand, 30 odd years ago, big American company, European company, they hesitated, 30 years ago. Who knows whether it's good or not to come to invest. Now, there's a Hong Kong investor. He's called the richest man of Hong Kong, Li Ka-sheng. He was actually the first major investor in China, heavy investment. I don't know how many billion of dollars he invested. And because people has respect to this guy, so a lot of other people follow, a lot of other Hong Kong investors follow, Taiwanese investment, European, American, so just name it. So, and that make foreign direct investment in China up to a record level. Now, 2015, I was answering the people in Sweden. I say, 30 years ago, Li Ka-sheng was the first one to make heavy investment, and then the whole world followed. Now, 2015, today, he's the first one who made the decision to exit China. He sold off a lot of his major investment in China and moved the money to Europe. So, maybe the whole world will follow. So, this is a fact. And unfortunately for Chinese economy, my forecast seems to be correct. Now, you see, what I want to say is the Chinese economy was actually, because of it, a lot of its economy was built on deception and lies. So the problem started coming or becoming visible 2015 and getting worse and worse, declining. And then came the American trade war. And actually, as I mentioned before in my video, it is not just a trade war. America is hitting back because they felt, Donald Trump and his people, felt that China has been running a kind of unfair trade and many unfair things, non-reciprocal thing to America. So he started a war on trade, on a technology, stopping Chinese to steal technology. He started a cyber war, or he fight back on the cyber war. He stopped Huawei to build out their network, and he will also fight back on the financial war, where he will stop American capital flowing to China. So that will be even heavier hit on Chinese economy. Now, all this is not bad enough. And then came the coronavirus. I mean, imagine, coronavirus, the whole China is idled, stopped. Xi Jinping pushed people to go back to work, and many regions refused. What does that mean? And I started today mentioning the World Health Organization statement. It may end up with 4 billion people infected in the whole world. But I guess most of them will be in China. So maybe China alone will be something like 500 million people. It's terrible. So if that is true, then I can tell you the Chinese economy is really in a shaky shape. And this is not just, my imagination. A lot of Western companies either have already found an alternative supply chain to their product, or planning to do so, or in the move to do so. As long as I know, 80% of American companies, like Apple, 67% of European companies, like the French company PSA, who make Citroën and Peugeot, yeah, and Samsung and Asian company also. I don't have the exact figure, but look, 67% of all European companies who has been relying on China in supply chain, they are changing their supply chain. That means they are not buying anymore from China, but buy from other country components for building their car, building their product, building their iPhone, and so on. So that is a big, big hammer for the Chinese economy. And so, I mean, we have to be, rational. I wish Chinese people will overcome this terrible disaster. But on the other hand, we have to be awake. We have to face the fact that, so please, get prepared. The Chinese economy is going to be a disaster. So any company, any country who tied their economy tightly with China will face terrible challenge, a challenge that you never experience. There's no free lunch. For 20 years ago, 10 years ago, many companies maybe were enjoying fantastic possibility to access the Chinese market. And, although we say that we should, use the trade with China to influence China so that China become a more reasonable country with better human rights situation, with more democracy, with freedom. But be honest, how many businessmen have been really using this chance of doing business with China to influence China to develop in a positive direction? We never did it. So we have a China still totalitarian. And because it's totalitarian, only because of that, it is possible they can keep secret about the coronavirus for more than 6 weeks and letting a lot of infected people spread around in the world and create this global disaster. So we have to pay a bill, even we in West. So I hope we learned the lesson. So if you like my video, don't forget to subscribe. Costs nothing. When you subscribe, you get automatic alert telling you that I'm coming out with a new one. And you are, of course, most welcome to spread my video to your friends if you think it's good for them. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.